Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you've just joined me, I am live from Wiltshire and hoping that this is coming across to you. I've been setting up the studio here to do a test recording. Tomorrow, going to be doing a live with Glastonbury Gabriel, probably on the Vogue Show channel, which is the sister channel. But this is the Bald Explorer channel. And just thought I would do a test unannounced live from Wiltshire. I'm in Cairn. I believe it's spelt C-A-L-N-E, but I believe now that it's pronounced Cairn, not Calne or Calney or whatever rubbish that I've managed to concoct. And here am I, on my lonesome Todsome. We have a light over in the corner. I have a desk full of stuff. I can show you that. But I haven't got a webcam connected. I've only got basics. But I've got all the gear on the table here. I'll see if I can do a wide for you. But just thought we'd do a little test. Also, I'm hoping that we can take a phone call or two on the show whilst we just test all the gear. Tomorrow will be the real thing with Gabriel. I've only got one camera, but I have the facility for 4 cameras. So if Gabriel brings another camera, we may well be able to plug that in. So it's all very simple. I see that Roland Millwood has joined. Hello, Roland. Lovely to see you. Lovely Julia is out there. How fantastic. Yeah, it's all just a bit of a test. I've been very busy ever since I arrived here yesterday at lunchtime and picked up the key, was shown around this palatial house. You can't see much of the house here in the background. This is because the table in the room, I could put it the other way round so it faces the patio doors, but you would get the garden. But in order to light us, that would just blow out and would just be a white screen. It would be problematic. So it's easier to use some of the light that's coming in from the garden to light it this way. But consequently, you don't really see much of the house. But that's okay, because it means that you can focus on what's going on in the show. Hopefully, this is all working. Hello from Trowbridge in Wiltshire. Sorry, my comments are over there at the moment. At TurboStream, he's saying, testing. Can you hear me, mother? Can you hear me? Hey, mother, I'm testing it out, lad. Yes, I can hear. Well, I can't hear you, but can you hear me? Presumably you can. It looks like it's all going through, which will be good. I can just double check that by going to another little thing here. Oh yeah, that seems to be there. 14 viewers, it says, all of a sudden, and 2 likes. Well, I'm not after likes on this. This is just very much a very simple test. I'm hoping that somebody can give me a call because I want to try one thing. But I'm not sure how we're going to do that exactly. I probably got to use the phone in a bit of an old-fashioned way, really, but there you go. Now, somebody's going to say, how do you make the call and what's the number? Well, most people know it's the same studio number as we usually use. It's just the studio number. Don't ring my personal number because that's not patched in. And with any luck, not only will I be able to hear you using the old headphones, but also everybody else should be able to hear you. And the crucial thing, of course, is that you can hear me. So yeah, we'll just see how this rolls. TurboStream broadcasting loud and clear up in a sunny Birmingham by a Shire. Yeah, it's cloudy down here. The weather today in Wiltshire, it's cloudy. But it's been very warm. It's cooling off now. I thought I'd put my jumper on, mainly so that I would stick out against the background. I've got a nice shirt, but this is a bit more contrasty against the white, something that one has to think about. But it's actually quite nice to have a very simplistic studio. Normally I've got my what do you call them? Not strobe lights. What are they called? The not laser lights. There's a word for them of which I cannot pull. That what is it? Neons. That would be the word. Neons. Receiving well in Monmouth in spite of dodgy Wi-Fi. Oh, well, that's great. I don't suppose, Julia, you fancy ringing in the show on the studio number, if you know the studio number, just to test if I can talk to you over the phone. I've no idea. I haven't been able to test that really. I should have tested it with someone beforehand. But that would be great if you can. If not, no worries, as it were. So where have I been today? Well, this morning I went to what I thought was called, and what I've said on the video, is Cher Hill Monument, or the Lansdowne Monument, and then around Oldbury Castle. But I gather from a local who's commented on a little short video that I did, who says, no, it's not called Cher Hill. It's actually called Cheryl. Can't be Cheryl. Right, let's see. Julia's ringing in. We'll find out. Oh, hang on, I've got to put headphones on. Hello, Julia. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Hello?
Hang on a minute. Bear with me, caller.
Hear me at the buzzer.
I can hear.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
I can't hear you.
Right, can I hear you? Not very well. Not very loudly. Hang on. Can you hear me now, Mother? Hello. Right, I can't hear you through the system. I don't know why that is. Can you? I can hear you there, but it's...
I'm here and I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me yet?
Can you still hear me?
Quite noisy here, but can you hear me?
I can only hear you on this if the phone. It's because I'm using a different desk and it doesn't have an aux out.
You need your aux out.
I need my aux out, but I can hold, so I can actually just unplug that. Cause,
Keep my aux in there, all right?
yeah, I'll keep. So we'll have to do any phone call. We'll just have to do like this.
Yeah.
But that works, doesn't it?
That work for you?
Sound?
Oh, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. It sounds noisy where you are. You've got a party going on.
Yeah, we're having a barbecue. It's all the Hartley clan all gathered together. Minus one, of course, but we've all been celebrating his life and
Yes.
things like that.
And just so that everybody else knows exactly, you're out with the in-laws at the moment, aren't you?
I am, yes, that's right.
And you're staying in Monmouthshire in a big barn. Can you describe the complex?
Well, yes, we've got the main house, which has 3 floors. Most of the families are in there. And then we've got an outdoor pool with a big enclosure around it. And then we've got a long grass lawn with a cut, as in a mowed patch. I suppose it's not really lawn if it's long, is it? But and then we've got a mown patch down to the barn. And then one end we've got the games room. Then there's some rooms, a living room and kitchen, and then there's, in the middle of the barn, there's a toilet block as such, and then there's some more room, another lounge and kitchen, and then some more bedrooms and bathrooms at both, well, toilets at both ends. Yeah, and there's acres and acres and acres around us that belong to this place. There's a lawn mown walk that goes all around the circumference of the place, which I haven't actually done yet. Apparently it takes 25 minutes around.
Oh wow! Oh well, that's good exercise. You should get up in the morning at about 6 o'clock.
You're funny.
or even earlier, and just jog round, do about 3 laps.
Yeah. Well, it depends if Joseph lets me sleep tonight. He was up every 2 hours last night, which was not fun.
Well, I guess the other option, if you can't get him to sleep, put him in the... Have you got the stroller?
No, we could not fit that in.
That's
we had a bunch of stuff that Charles bought from the wholesalers to bring, asked for by his mum.
Oh, that's a shame, because with the stroller you could have strapped him in and then just ran him round.
Oh, I know. I mean, there is a stroller here which I might be able to borrow. I need to work out whose it is and say, in the wee hours of the morning, if I need to, can I borrow it?
Well,
so, that is an option.
Fantastic. Well, I hope it all goes well. Thank you very much for calling in, Julia. I'm not going to make this a long thing, but at least I've worked out how to do the telephone calls, and it sounds like there's a few acres for Richard to farm, says Roland. Yes.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. I think this place probably costs a lot more than you and I combined could afford, to be honest.
Yes. Is there any chance that you could roll it up the field and just put it in.
Bring it home.
Yeah, and bring it home.
Jojo, shush. I could try for you. I could try.
That
I tell you what,
will it fit on the roof
views here are
rack?
amazing, by the way.
Pardon?
The views from here are amazing, by the way. We're on like one hill out of many around us. It's fantastic. Sorry, you were saying?
That sounds brilliant. I mean, when I was up on the Wiltshire Downs this morning, the undulating hills, I was actually very jealous because where I was walking, and in the video coming on probably Wednesday, there was all this species-rich pasture land, and I saw harebells, which I've not seen on the South Down. These are beautiful little light blue bell-shaped flowers, beautiful flowers, and a whole load of others. I took pictures of them, of course, and they'll be in the edit when I get around to editing it. I've got tomorrow's video done, but I've spent all afternoon editing with a very slow laptop, trying to get it all done.
Backbreaking.
Hunched over, but I did go out. There's a garden here, and I did water the trees that have been planted in the garden. So
thank you from the trees.
yeah, there you go. Well, I hope the rest of your week goes really well. Thank you so much, Julia.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
Not thing. It was amazing last night. I watched I went for a little stroll out from the celebrations last night, and I spotted in the distance a bird of prey. I wasn't sure what it was. I think it's a kite now. But yeah, I watched it hunting for about 10 minutes. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was
Well, there you
fantastic.
go. With that space around you, and those large fields, you should
Sorry,
see.
say that again?
I was going to say, with all that space that you've got around you, you should see some of these big birds. And maybe at night time, if you can't sleep, perhaps you might catch an owl or two. Not catch them physically, but you know, spot them. Well, I'm going to let you go because it sounds like there's lots of fun going on there.
Jojo's demanding more food. Okay, give me 2 minutes. Right, sorry about that.
No worries. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for calling in, Julia.
No problem. I'll enjoy the rest of the show. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, there we are. That's a lovely Julia. She is away, and actually, one of the reasons that hang on, what am I doing? I'm pressing all sorts of buttons on the phone, trying to manipulate it by hand. One of the reasons I chose this week is because Julia was away as well, and I thought, well, she's away. I was getting a bit jealous, so I chose this week, and I checked with David Chamberlain, who's in Dubai, and he very kindly had offered me to stay in this house that I'm in, this beautiful house here in Wiltshire. There's the only tiny small little minus on here is to get towards Marlborough. They've closed a road, so that you have to sort of circumnavigate the whole town to get all the way around. It's nothing to do with David or anybody else. It's just you get off the estate that I'm on, and you would turn left, and it's quite an easy route out. But because they've decided, I don't know what they're doing, laying gas mains or water or something, it's just shut off for about a fortnight. So in order to do that, and of course my sat nav is desperately trying to get me to go that way, and I'm saying, no, it's closed. Don't you understand, sat-nav? And it goes, no, I don't understand. Nobody told me. And that's actually a useful thing, if only somebody would tell, if there was a way of saying, hey, this road's closed, even if it's only temporarily, so that the Google sat-nav, and I do use that on my phone, could just say, oh yeah, no, that's closed actually for 2 weeks, so we'll just automatically route you a different way rather than trying to push you into an area, especially when you don't know it, that is already closed. Turbo Stream says it's very quiet. Connor's Dark Corner says good evening. Welsh Wanderer Jason Patrick, good evening, nice to see you. See a lot of kites around Heathrow Airport. Like the foxes, they are changing their hunting grounds, presumably because they're looking for food. And they've realised that humans are a species that leave their detritus all over the place. We have plastic bags, and we're trying to get rid of plastic, aren't we? But we have plastic bags and big bins. Not all of us, sweeping statement, but there's a high proportion of people who do have enough litter that is lying about, or the bags are not tied or secured sufficiently, and so foxes and birds of prey, presumably, like the kites, can see that as an easy place to grab food, whether they're going after the food itself or the rodents that are seeking the humans' detritus, and then they might go for the mammals, the birds of prey, presumably. Morton Lewis is there. Hello to you, Morton Lewis. What a nice surprise. I'm not going to be on here forever. This is really just a simple little test on the Board Explorer. Tomorrow, but I will tell you, tomorrow, Glastonbury Gabriel is going to be here on the Vobe show. Now, if you send a video, if you want to send a video in for the Vobe show as in the normal format that we do, you're very much welcome to do that, because we can do it. I have got my little mini computer that was running the system. So in a moment, I'm going to get up and I will try and show you the setup here. It's very basic, but it's quite complicated. And when I left, of course, I had to make sure that I had every lead that did every job, because you only need to be one lead short, and it would mean you either couldn't get the picture, or you couldn't get the audio, or I couldn't get the monitor going, all these sort of different things. I'm using a different mixing desk, which is a very small portable Alesis multi-mix, but it doesn't have an aux send, which means that when I'm taking a phone call, I can't send the phone call from this microphone into the phone so that the caller can hear me, which is a bit of a blow. And also the output is not terribly loud, or the input, it doesn't seem to be boostable, which is a shame. So we are resorting, as you saw, to just the loudspeaker on the phone doing the call. But there you go, that will work. Now, if anybody wants to give us a call, you're very welcome, and we'll have a quick chat. Andrew Murphy is there. Hello, Andrew. Hope you're having a lovely August week. Adam Roberts, good evening, Vobe. Strange to see you without the backdrop of your usual set, missing the neon lights. Yes, well, actually, I am, and I know it looks a bit the situation. The house is very lovely. It's just that the dining room table is really the only table in the ground floor that's going to be suitable to put everything on. And we've got Glastonbury Gabriel coming down from Glastonbury to Caen, where I am, in down. We've got Pekka, Peliciti. I don't know how you pronounce that. I've obviously said that wrong. Good evening to you. Mike Dixon. A pair of suckerfish have produced eggs. The daddy fish is fanning and oxygenating them. The suckerfish. How do they do that? Do they suck fish? Who knows? Certainly not me, anyway. A glimpse is the setup that we've got here, so that you can have a quick look and see what we're doing. I hope it's not too quiet. I know that Turbo Adrian said it was quiet, but I think he was referring to the phone call. Yes, right. Let me go round and we'll see how we do. So I'm going to disappear for a minute, but and of course. So I'm just going to nip round lens a little bit. That's not terribly wide. By pan over to the side, you've got the computer there. The little black box is the computer. The monitor system. My switcher switches to cameras. I've only got one camera plugged in there, but it's a beautiful bit of kit. You've got the back end of it, of course. You've got the keyboard there. That's the sound mixer. Sound coming in. And a cheap little portable microphone, dynamic. And then over here, just one light plugged in. And that's kind of the setup, really. Now let's just get that camera back to about where it was. I want it to somewhere there, something like that, maybe a bit more. Fix that in. Hopefully that looks straight. And of course, it's just slightly too low. I'm just going to go and adjust it up. Hold on a second. Of course, some people do their lives just on their phones. And there's me with all this clobber. It is a little bit daft. But at least I know it's working. We can do a show. Now, presumably, it's quite echoey in here. And when I've got another microphone in, we'll pick up a bit more echo. And I apologise for all of that. John Browett says, great show, Richard. I love the randomness. It is a little bit random. I do apologise for that. Nothing is planned. I just thought we've got Glastonbury Gabriel coming tomorrow. We normally do a show on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday on my Vobe Show channel, which is on YouTube. You just put in the Vobe Show and you'll find it. Usually sort of comic stuff. I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow, but we'll just probably have a chinwag about all sorts of things, take phone calls and all of that. Your chance to have a word with Glastonbury Gabriel. He's got an interesting history, and he's going to show me. He's coming tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I've got my drone here, which I need to charge up the batteries this evening, and he's going to help me sort out the firmware and recalibrate the camera. And we're going to go somewhere, and for the first time, I mean, I was given this camera about 6 or 7 months ago, and I haven't, the drone rather, and I haven't used it in all this time. Now, that's because I was a bit nervous about using it, because anything that goes up, of course, can come down, and rather rapidly. And I wanted to find somebody who had experience of a drone just to help me get going on it, rather than me. But actually, Glastonbury says that a lot of these drones fly themselves. For some reason, I had the impression that you had to control each of the 4 helicopter things. So that, like in a model aeroplane, it takes him years of practice to do all this sort of stuff. And I'm not terribly good with my disposable thumbs, especially when I chuck them away. Gold Dalek Who says, must be Virgin Media. Must be. Audrey says, same here, Julia. Oh no, Wi-Fi has got intermittent again. Sorry about that. Francesco bell ringer. I met a bell ringer today in a little village called Hill Martin, and they got a bell there, but you can't get into the church or even into the churchyard. I did film a little bit there and took a walk. Beautiful buildings. That'll be coming up probably on Thursday, that video. And I was talking to the church warden, who is also a bell ringer, and I said, oh, that's interesting, because I said, I know a few bell ringers, and a lot of them are quite young. And he said, oh, yeah, there seems to be a resurgence. Now, also, I know that there is a little book or an app. I think there's an app that people have, bell ringers, that tells you, whatever the church is, what the bells are. And for a while, people didn't mention this, but when bell ringers, I would say, oh, I've been in such and such a church, and they would go, oh, yeah, that church, it's got a peal of 8 bells, and the what's name is in D minor. And I would think, gosh, fancy them remembering that. Well, they don't remember it. They don't remember it at all. Sorry, just getting comfortable. Of course they don't remember it. They just look on the app, and it tells them automatically. So there we go. Jeff Kellison's arrived. He says, don't sweat it, Voby. Let the bird fly. I'm not sure what he means by that. Wiltshire Gardener. Good evening, Richard. Good evening, Wiltshire Gardener. What part of Wiltshire are you in? Because I'm in Wiltshire, as it happens. Pelilisi says, the house seems a good 100 years newer than yours. Must feel very different being in there. Yes, I think this is a new build of the last 5 or even a year. I don't know, a couple of years. It's a lovely house. But for me, and of course it's quite empty, because the owner lives in Dubai. I believe that a number of members of the family use it as a place to stop over and have weekends and things like that. So consequently, it's not full of people, a person's belongings, unlike mine, which is acquired over 30 years, you suddenly realise, actually, yeah, I've got rather a lot of stuff. Dove's Guide, says Francesco. Oh, Dove's Guide, there we go. That's presumably a book, isn't it? The book, the website, the app. Oh, and the app, Dove's Guide. So there we go. Only shows rings of 3, change the ringing bells. Presumably for Hill Martin, is it? There is a resurgence of young ringers, he says. Infinite Koala Army has turned up. Hello, Infinite. Nice to see you there. Absolutely. I'm curious to see where Wiltshire Gardener is, if you did get that message. Whereabouts in Wiltshire are you? It's interesting coming in. When I came in yesterday, my sat-nav made me avoid, went round the houses, round the back, through the back streets, Marlborough. And I was actually looking forward. I know it gets very busy, but I was looking forward to going through Marlborough High Street. But by the time I got there, it was about 12-ish. And I suppose it was incredibly busy, so it took me elsewhere. Francesco says 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I don't know what those numbers refer to. That might be his bank details. Write them down hastily and extract as much money as you possibly can before anybody catches you. That's my advice there. Milksham was a recommendation to visit. Milksham. I don't know where that is in relation to where I am. I've got an OS map in the back there. I could go and get that. Hang on, let me go and get my OS map. You'll have to just talk amongst you. I haven't got any jingles and things. This is an old system. Oh, hang on, I've gone dark. But look, I can put a bit of Moment of Murphy on. I can put Mike Dixon. These are things from the last time I used this particular. Here we go. What's this?
Roses out there. Stephen Aguilera.
Very nice view.
I'm near the South Downs Way.
Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm going to go and get the OS map. I'll be back in a second. You'll have to talk amongst yourselves. You're going to see me in my snazzy shorts. There we go. Ooh. So, the lighting is slowly dropping out there, and my one studio. I've got another light for when what's his face is here. So I've got two maps of the area, and the reason I've got 2 maps of the area is because if this is the part of Wiltshire, Caen, where I am, is here, right on the map. And in fact, half of Caen is on one side of the map, the other half is on the other map. So you have to buy 2 maps, which is a little bit daft. So let's have a look. I don't know which part, where I would be looking to find Milksham, but I will have a quick. Are you near the Vale of Pewsey? Devizes? Are you on the Marlborough Downs? Tockenham, Berwick, Compton Bassett, Avebury, Milden Hall. Somebody suggested I go to, you're not on any of those. Somebody suggested I go to Henpeck Hill or Henpeck Hill or something. Not Milksham. Meek. Is it Milk? No, wait a minute. M-E-L-K. How do you pronounce Melk? Melksham? I don't know where Melksham is. I'm trying to find Wootton Rivers. Marlborough, is it? No, not the Vale of Pewsey. Pewsey? Okay. So, of course, you're not on the... You must be west of me, then. You must be. Because I have the means and ways, you know. Chippenham. Are you anywhere near Chippenham? Oh, here we go. Got it. I got it. Here we go. Melksham. Right. Here it is. It's here. Melksham. You can't really see it terribly well, but again, you're on a fold. You're on a fold. And on the other side, let's have a look. You've got the river. What river's that going through? Oh, the River Avon. Oh yeah, so you're a sort of northwest of Bradford-on-Avon. So maybe go down there and have a little look at the river. South of Chippenham, yeah, west of Devizes. Fantastic. Well, I found it now. Thank you very much. And what's there? I mean, the River Avon would be quite nice. Is it? You see, one thing I don't want to do, and this might sound very silly, is to go to popular places, because here we are in the height of the summer, height of tourist season. People are going out and places are busy, may not be as busy, but when you're filming, particularly with a tripod and a camera, and people have been suggesting some interesting places, but they're not really ideal for me to go when I'm trying to film. Great if you're just visiting, that would be perfect. But when you want to set up and get some nice shots and stuff, and the world and his brother is there and you're trying to do a piece to camera. So I'm trying to find places that there's nobody about, that's still interesting, that shows off a different side of Wiltshire. And so today I found this very unusual sundial, a sundial that's covered by a thatched roof and hidden by a hedge, so that there's no way the sun can actually get against the stone dial. Did seem a bit barking. That seemed to me to be something that you want up on the downs, that's open, so that when the sun comes out you could actually see it, not as a bus stop enclosed and hidden by a hedge. It seemed the most ridiculous thing, but there it was. And just outside Cairn, where I am, another little mini short that I did today was I looked at this motorbike, and that's up there. I don't know if people have seen that one. A motorbike that's made out of scaffold poles. It's about 15 foot tall, this motorbike, and it's on a wooden base. It's been there, I think, since 2013, I think, if my memory right. So I did manage to look it up a bit. And as I was filming, when I finished, this lovely old chap came over, and the field that it's in is used for car boots. And this old chap told me quite a lot, really, about the car boot, but he told me that the owner of the field has got a crane, and they're actually going to lift it up and move it further along, because they want to open up that corner to put another gate in so they can get more people in the field when they open up their car boot sale. But there was this thing, I couldn't get round the back of it without trespassing, and I didn't want to do that, but it was quite interesting. So I'm looking to these unusual things that most people either don't know, or the tourists certainly aren't going to. Roger Jones says, just arrived back from Les Coq. It's really pretty, as is Castle Combe. Well worth a visit. Roger, how many tourists? How busy was it? I mean, I went up, as I said earlier, to Lansdowne Monument and the White Horse there, because I know there's a White Horse Trail. And I finished filming at 9 o'clock this morning. I was up there before 7, and I spent a couple of hours clambering up, filming lots of different shots. Hopefully it'll make a nice little video. It's not on the GoPro, it's on my proper tripod and proper camera. Some nice shots and all of that. But by 9, there started to, all the walkers and the families were descending on it, and I just had to get away. The motorcycle was good, says Morton Lewis. I thought that might impress you. Wiltshire Gardener says, Saxon Chapel, Bradford-on-Avon. I know you visited the Tithe Barn, barging down the canal. We did actually visit the Saxon church as well, actually. Probably in the same video. Audrey says, with all the bushes, you'll never know if the bus is late. Exactly. You never quite get that time. Wiltshire Gardener, Westbury White Horse, good to test your drone. Ah, well, that's very good. Thank you very much. The one that I went to today was on National Trust property, the White Horse there with the Lansdowne, what's it? And there's a sign there saying, no drones. So they don't like you to do that. Lazy Hazelwood. Hi, Richard. Hello, Lazy Hazelwood. Nice to see. Oh, not lazy. What am I saying? I moved the Z about. Sorry, Larry. Sorry, Larry. Just called you lazy. I do apologise. So there we go. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that. Well, I won't be on here for very long. As I say, I just wanted to test this and see how this is doing. Seems to be holding up. It is going to get darker now. We will start tomorrow with Glastonbury Gabriel after a long day, hoping to have some footage to play in as well if we get our act together and we don't spend too long just chit chat, chitty chit chat, which would be good. Now that I've got the setup and I know what to do, so I should have some bits and pieces, maybe some photographs if nothing else to talk about it, but some drone footage, which you may well be the first to see on the Vogue show. Charlie M says, hi Richard, you need to visit Staffordshire. There's lots to explore around this county. Absolutely I do. I certainly want to go up there. It's a very lovely county. I've driven through it when I've been up to Shropshire. I've driven over it eastwards, when I've gone on the way to, well, not Nottingham, but further north than Nottingham, isn't it? But across country when I've had to do some corporate stuff. And there's a big castle, I can't remember what it is, near Stone. I can't remember what that castle is called, but you go through Stone. Stone looks an interesting place. And of course, they've got canals that go through there. There are so many interesting places to explore, and I'm desperate to do more of it. Here we are in August, the months of the year disappearing, thanks to COVID, not being able to do very much. But this particular trip, it's useful. But of course, the world and his brother has suddenly discovered the great outdoors, which has been a real bane when filming. But hey-ho. Looks and sounds good. Audrey says, can you remember all the rules and regs for flying your drone? I think mostly it's common sense, to be fair. There are certain distances, and they do it all in meters, which sort of means a bit nothing to me. But I think you can't go higher than 400 feet. I think that's the maximum height that you can go. And you've got to be something like 75 feet, I think, above people, so that you can't, and indeed any houses in the area, so that you can't film them in any close up. You can see them as small dots, but they have to. It's a distance that makes them unrecognizable, unless of course you recognize them from their clothes. But mostly, it's something like that. There are you can't fly it and take off and land if they are within something like 30 feet, I think it is. But you can take off you can take off and just get it straight up if they're within something like 5 meters. Well, that 5 fives of 25, so that's 25 feet. So I can't remember, but it's sort of common sense. The main thing is to have your ID number, your license number on the drone. I've got some stickers, and so I'm going to stick them on as well. But I want to get the firmware and the camera rejigged and see what we do. Glastonbury Gabriel is going to film me doing my first takeoff, so that's going to be exciting. AMC Dougie Fresh says you should take a walkie-talkie when you're on high ground. Give it a try. What, on my own? Do you mean on my own? Who would I talk to? I could understand if there's other people who you've got walkie-talkies, but I would rather be walking with them than talking over a thing. I also do have a mobile phone, and if the signal is there, that's handy. But I need a bit more explanation on that. Stafford Castle. Oh, is it Stafford Castle? Yeah. It's a very, if I remember rightly, it's sort of squat. It's got these great big, very impenetrable looking round towers. and the road circumnavigates, and there's this, as I recall, as you're travelling eastwards, it's on the north, and the ground rises up, and there it is, this grey castle. It looks very impressive. I don't know whether you can get in there or not, but that would be nice. I know that people like Jeff Kellison, who's out there, wants desperate for me to use the drone to film some of these places, but of course most of these places, unless they're ruins and you can just turn up, you would need permission, and people are very wary about giving you permission, especially if you're filming it, because then they'll think you're making money and then they want to charge you. So that's a bit of a problem, especially when like me, you're not earning a great deal. So there we go. Anyway, I am going to, I think this is sort of, I mean, unless somebody wants to give me a quick tinkle, you'd be very welcome to, but I would do it fairly swiftly because I'm going to switch off and pack this all away very carefully because this is on the dining table, and actually it's a working table as well, because I've been editing and stuff, and this is just all in the way, and it would be a trip hazard. And it only takes about 20 minutes to set it up. Famous last words, but I'll make sure that by 7 o'clock we've got it all ready for tomorrow. ACM says, lots of amateur radio users listen to the frequency that walkie-talkies operate on, and you may be surprised. Oh, I see. Do you have to have a certain type of walkie-talkie? You could write the number. Could you write the number in the comments, Richard? Oh, yeah, well, hang on a minute. Let's have a look. I know it's gone black. Just bear with me. There we go. Hang on. There we go, look. I just had to paste it, copy and paste it from a previous thing. So if anybody wants to give me it'd be nice to have a quick chat with somebody, although I can't boost it loudly. I can only do it in a very simplistic way. But let's see if I make sure the volume is up, because I touched something earlier. Turn the ringtone up. Oh, the media volume was low. That's why. Notifications can go down. Sorry about that. So there we go. It does seem very strange doing the show not in the studio. In the studio, I can be a little bit more exuberant, but here it's just like trying to get used to it. It's like sometimes in the long distance past, I used to do corporate videos for people, and I would try and do a live from a hotel. Well, that's really bizarre, doing a live from a hotel, because you're aware that there's somebody in the next room. You can hear the television, or you can hear them making a cup of coffee, or you can hear them snoring, and the walls aren't terribly the type of hotels like Premier Inn or Travelodge or one of these cheap type hotels. And the Vogue show normally, I mean, I'm talking just sort of generally here, because this is the Bald Explorer, and this is how I would perform on the Bald Explorer. But on the Vogue show, I'm a little bit more chirpy and a bit more jolly and a bit strange and a bit over the top. That's why they're two separate different shows. But do that in a hotel setting, and you can feel that the people would be getting a glass to the wall and going, gosh, he's a bit of a nutter, isn't he? And, well, I know that would be true. Ross Corbett has arrived. Hello, Ross. Nice to see you there. Just doing a bit of a live. And Charlie M, just looking at your mugs on Redbubble, definitely going to order one. Says it's cheaper if you order two. Oh, yes, hang on a minute. Let me show you one of the mugs. I've just got to go and get it. I was very surprised. Here he is. This was in the house. Was in the house. So this is one style of mug, but the other style of mug is more of your mug. So I don't know what they call this type of mug. Whether that's a coffee mug and the other's tea mug, I don't know. But There's 2 of them here, so there may be I guess the more you buy per item, they are going to be cheaper. Welsh Wanderer Jason says, you come North Wales. The Isle of Anglesey. Visit bridges and great Conway Place around. Yeah, I do want to go and film the Menine Strait and the Menine Gate, the Menine Bridge that Telford built, and of course the Llangollen Canal would be great. My friends from Floating Our Boat are slowly heading towards the Llangollen. I think they're on the Llangollen Canal, but they're getting towards the Pont Cysylltu Bridge, and very much looking forward to that. Did you buy your old times marmalade? Oh, did you try it? Sorry. Yes, I did. I had it this morning on bread. Delicious. Very lovely. I didn't do it on toast, funnily enough. But I think tomorrow I need to go and get some more bread. So I will do that. But the Tesco's down the road just didn't have any. I'm trying to just eat whole flour bread, not this white fluffy stuff. Now I'm sort of trying to keep to good food rather than cheap processed food. I mean, I don't eat processed food generally, but because now I've been making my own bread, and I still make my own bread, I should have made a bread to bring, a loaf, which is much more dense, full of wholemeal and milled in a windmill, if I can keep getting it from the various places. And that's so much better for you than the roller milled white flour in white bread, because they're basically all the minerals and all the nutrients and all the good stuff is thrown away. And of course it's bleached. Yes, I saw one on your last video. Oh, well done. Thank you very much. Here's a funny thing. I mean, I live at home quite impecuniously, cheaply. And did you like the sourdough bloomer? I did, actually. The sourdough bloomer is very nice. I'm going to try having a go at making my own sourdough when I get back. And I know the perfect person who knows how to make the sourdough yeast, Ed Loud, who I'm surprised actually hasn't turned up this evening, who could tell me how to do it. In the room, smart TVs connected to the internet. And because it's a very funny thing, this. Anybody, a PC or however you do it, you get very familiar with your video because you're seeing the scene several times. You're trying to match the cuts and things like that. I often look at my stuff and think, yeah, that's okay. It could be better and blah, blah, blah. And the telly in here has the internet and it has a YouTube. You can access YouTube. So I've done this a few times when I've stayed at places that have TV. A viewer, sorry, it's a horrible word, punter. I can never look at it like a viewer might do, in a luxury of their own home, away from all the technical equipment and all the rest of it, just as somebody who's a consumer sitting there. So I went onto the Board Explorer and I played a number of them, just a few minutes from each one. Lounge that's not yours. It always feels a little bit noddy. It always feels that it's not proper, and you edit it on a laptop as I've been doing here. Normally it's on a PC, but when I looked at it in the lounge on a lounge TV that's not my own, then you kind of compare it with another program on the other channel, and it was amazing. I thought, actually, these hold up pretty well. So I was very chuffed. I'm afraid I limit how often I go shopping because of that. Oh, excuse me. I'm back. The phone rang and missed the last 40 minutes, so I do apologise. Don't panic. You can play it again. Jojo is Julia's son, and he is coming up for a year. He will be a year old on the 10th, which is in 8 days' time. Gosh. So that's fascinating. Very interesting. And skipping in segments. I'm sorry about that. I can't. Oh, here we go. It is buffering a bit. We'll have to work out what's going wrong. Sorry about that. It keeps coming and going, and I've lost the chat. Where's the chat? People near you using Wi-Fi will cause that. Yeah, we're about the connection. Hope all okay for tomorrow. Thanks for watching, but will end now. Take care.